Welcome to the Official Personality Guru. When INTPs experience grief, they usually avoid showing it for a very long time. They will draw inward, seek privacy, and look inside themselves to discover what went wrong. They're prone to self-blame, so they need to take time to look outside and realize the problem, or whatever happened, is much bigger than they could have controlled. They tend to feel increasing turmoil the more they suppress their emotions, but they persist in hiding them. Many INTPs report that they feel awkward asking for help or expressing how they feel. They may try to apply logic to the situation or cut loose and move on. While this is not always bad, it can cause their suppressed emotions to stay in the shadows only to bubble up later. If they don't deal with their emotions or find the support they need, they may suddenly reach a breaking point and become uncharacteristically emotional and angry. They tend to withdraw when they are in these phases because they feel out of control and unsure of themselves. Today, let's talk about INFP loss and how the INFP copes with the many forms of loss. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the Personality Guru and ring the bell icon to get regular updates on our latest uploads. And if you like this video, click the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. Loss is never really enjoyable to endure, even for those who can cope well with it. Having to deal with losing something or someone can be one of the most painful experiences. There are many different kinds of losses we can experience in life. Sometimes this is death, and other times it is simply a change that forces us to lose something meaningful. Whether it be a small loss or something major, experiencing letting go of something so important to you can be truly painful, and for some, it is overwhelming. Each person has their way of processing these feelings. For some, the idea of letting go hits them much harder, and for others, it is something they seem to handle much better. While loss often hits INFPs very hard, that doesn't mean they don't handle it appropriately. They aren't likely to ignore their pain and loss, whereas other types might try to push these feelings aside. INFPs are accepting of their own inner emotions and have often learned over time how to best handle and cope with them, since they are capable of dealing with these feelings instead of neglecting or denying them. This can make the grieving process much more natural for them. While INFPs feel things very deeply, that doesn't mean they are overly emotional people who cannot cope with those deep inner feelings. It is important to understand that just because INFPs value their inner emotions and feelings as priorities, that doesn't make them over the top or dramatic people. Accepting loss. For INFPs, it is important to accept the existence of their emotions, rather than try to bury them or deny their existence. Some people tend to pretend they are fine and completely ignore their inner emotions, and for the INFP, this is not natural. They need to accept what they are feeling, even if they have to do this in stages and steps. INFPs don't enjoy denying their own emotions, as this is an important part of who they are and who they perceive the world around them. They need to be able to take the appropriate time to understand what they are feeling so that they can heal from this. Whether this is a major loss like the death of a loved one, a loss of a friendship, or even just a loss of something from their past. It doesn't matter how minor or severe the loss is. INFPs do best when they allow themselves to feel everything along the way. Sometimes people need to bury those emotions and don't know how to cope with them for long periods. For the INFP, there is of course a phase of denial, but that isn't something they can stew in for too long. Some people might see the INFP's connection to the inner emotions as a weakness, when in truth it can be a great strength. Their inner feelings are strongly connected to their sense of morals, and this helps the INFP stand firm in their beliefs. This is also how they process the world around them and helps them to come to conclusions about themselves and others. When the INFP experiences loss, they need to allow this to connect to those emotions instead of trying to find logical answers right away. Instead, they just need to feel whatever goes through them, not always needing to make a clear sense of it in the way others might have to. Not everything needs an in-depth explanation for the INFP. Instead, they know they need to process those experiences to eventually understand them better. With the hundreds of many forms of loss and the hundreds of copes, how do you cope with anything that deals and is related to loss. Be sure to watch until the end and share your experience for a chance to have your comment pinned. Their process. Initially, the INFP might need a lot of time to themselves to process what is going on. Being that they are introverts, they need plenty of alone time to recharge, and this often opens up when they experience a serious loss in their lives. While others might worry about this, it is perfectly natural for the INFP to retreat inward for a while. This doesn't mean they don't want support or to have people let them know they care. They just also need their boundaries respected when they show that they need to be alone. The INFP needs to retreat and spend a lot of time inside of this shell, as this helps them sift through what is going on inside of them. They often experience a storm of overwhelming emotions, and when they go through something serious like loss, the INFP needs to find a way to process this without feeling drained by the needs of those around them. Eventually, INFPs do want to be around their loved ones and feel that sense of support. They will likely show signs that they need to reach out, but they need to feel it reciprocated. Their close relationships are very important to the INFP, and they want these people to be part of their growth. Sometimes, all the INFP needs are someone who can sit with them in silence while they think everything through. It isn't always about having a person say the right things. INFPs don't need empty words. They want someone who can be there for them even when they are a mess, or when they are feeling completely lost and confused. Feeling this person's love and comfort will help the INFP through so much loss and pain in their lives. Often, they just want to be heard and understood, and this helps them move forward. Before we continue, if you enjoy the video, make sure to give us a like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the Official Personality Guru for more amazing videos. Don't forget to ring the bell icon to stay updated with our content. Moving on. The biggest thing for the INFPs is their tendency to blame themselves and to move on. They need to let go of this. They know how to keep moving forward and how to accept what they are feeling. As long as they can forgive themselves for any potential mistakes as along the way. Instead of constantly trying to internalize things and take the burden on themselves, the INFP will benefit from being around someone who can help them see things more logically. For a while, they need to just feel everything and not analyze it. But once they have come out of that rabbit hole, the INFP does need a unique perspective to help them move on and let go of that loss.